Everyone needs to understand their strengths and their weaknesses, but for some reason we have a better idea of our strengths and we ignore our faults. Today's team meeting at our company, we went around the entire room and I asked them, what is your biggest weakness? And because of our team so transparent and open with each other, we can have these type of conversations where most real estate companies, they don't talk about their weaknesses. Really, it's more of a brag-a-thon or like, a puffing of a chest or ignoring or just not disclosing their weaknesses because they want to fit in, right? And they don't want to look weak. But weaknesses isn't about looking weak. Being able to share your weaknesses and being transparent about it actually takes a lot of courage and an open mind and a growth mindset, not a scarcity mindset. Because in order to have a growth mindset, you have to be able to know and believe that you can grow and you can learn and you can improve. And you improve by doubling down on your strengths, but you can also improve by limiting or fixing your weaknesses. And we went around the room and a common thread I heard was, paperwork, detail oriented. So a lot of agents were like, I could sell more homes if I was better at paperwork. Meaning I understood the paperwork better, training, or I had a better system or support staff that could help leverage me so that I could double down on my strengths while they take care of my weaknesses, which is paperwork. So on a team structure, you have a transaction coordinator or an assistant that allows that agent to shine, but also integrates the detailed parts of the business, which the detailed parts of the business oftentimes are not dollar productive activities, while selling homes, making prospecting calls, showing properties, negotiating is dollar productive activities. So identifying that weakness is a great way for me as their leader to help them grow, but also for them to put together a process, time block, and also improve on that paperwork. Now, other agents said, listen, I have a hard time confronting, right? I have a hard time telling people no. And that often comes about when people get into real estate because they're people pleasers, right? They're highly empathetic, right? They're great listeners and they serve. And so they want to serve everyone. And there's an old adage, if you try to make everyone happy, you make nobody happy. You can't be all things to all people. But these agents struggle because people are asking them for their help. They're asking them for information. They're asking them for services, thinking that's going to result in a client or a sale, and they need to be able to confront that and set clear boundaries. Well, I'm able to help them out on that because at being part of a team, they can reach out to me and say, Nick, I need you to help me with this, or I need to know, how do I say something to this person so they get the point, right? How do I get that boundary set with them? How do I move forward with this relationship? Because frankly, they're tearing me apart emotionally, and they're causing anxiety and stress. And so we're able to help them out with that. So that's a weakness you have to identify as yourself. On the confrontation side, in the real estate world, you have to come to terms with that there's more things that can go wrong than will go right. A perfect transaction is the unicorn. So stop selling the perfect transaction. It doesn't exist. You need to be selling that things are going to go wrong and that you are there to help problem solve. That way, when it comes to delivering bad information, it's not bad, it's just information. They've already been exposed, you've already articulated to them that this is going to be tough. There are going to be times where I'm going to deliver you information that is going to be perceived as not positive, right? It's going to be a setback. There's going to be a closing delay. There's going to be a denial letter. The seller's not going to respond to your liking. The buyer's not going to respond to your liking. We're not going to get the desired outcome, but we're going to continue to go. So handle confrontation is really, really important in our industry. And I think identifying that as a weakness, you'll actually find that nearly everybody on the team, when they heard somebody acknowledge that their weakness is confronting or delivering bad information, everybody could relate. So you're not alone in terms of your weaknesses and what you struggle with in real estate. I know people in the real estate industry, 30 years plus, that struggle with paperwork. 30 years plus, that struggle delivering bad information. It's still hard. So this is what I like to say. It's still going to be hard. You're just going to be better at handling hard things. I was talking a story about a time out of thousands of transactions, I've had to deal with attorneys very few times. But I remember the first time I dealt with an attorney in a real estate transaction that failed, it was stressful. It was hard. I felt like I wanted to quit. And looking back on that situation, I would still think it was hard. I would still want to avoid that situation, but I wouldn't be so stressed. I wouldn't have so much anxiety over it because I'm just better at handling hard things. So delivering information, identifying your weaknesses, working on your weaknesses, it's always going to be hard. You're just going to get better and better and better at dealing with hard things. And so let's identify some weaknesses. I would like to hear from you guys. What are your weaknesses? Where are the areas that if you were to improve or have systems or leads or process or training would change the game for you, would really dynamically change your career and your growth opportunities in terms of sales, personal and professional growth. So find those weaknesses, work on them, reach out for help. I can tell you this, the people that are doing great, they need to go down and teach somebody, teach it is to know it. The people that are struggling need to stand up and raise their hand and say, I'm struggling. And in today's real estate market, 2022 and beyond, it's not going to get easier, it's going to get harder. So the question is, are you going to identify and be open to getting better, or are you going to crumble and resign and quit? Because a lot of agents are going to quit. And for someone like myself, I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be less agents. It's not a bad thing. I'm not being mean. I'm not, I don't want there to be less agents necessarily. I want everyone to succeed. But the matter is that if the real estate market gets hard, people that can't handle hard things and improve are going to fail and get out of the industry. And the people that survive, that are good at handling hard things and filling in the gaps in their weaknesses, are going to do better. And there's going to be just as many transactions spread across fewer agents. I saw it happen 10 years ago. There was half as many agents and the same amount of transactions. It was awesome. It was actually a lot better than the last 2 years where there was a ton of agents and the same amount of transactions spread across a ton of agents. It wasn't that great. I mean, the checks were good. It was nice that you didn't have to work as long per client, but it was a struggle for a lot of people. And the new marketplace is going to be hard, but the people that can handle hard things are going to do really, really awesome. So if you need help, I want to see you sell more homes, reach out to me. I'm there for you guys. And yeah, get better.